PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, eliminated Barcelona in the Champions League quarterfinals, and we have some six or less or more talking points that we need to discuss regarding the game between Barcelona and PSG. It was a game filled with controversies, and the home fans felt that they were dealt with negatively, but the away fans felt that the refereeing decisions were top notch, and they were right. So we have some talking points that we need to talk about. First, we need to talk about the Araujo red card. Then the decision by Xavi to sub of Lamine Yamal and bring in Inigo Martinez, and also the service reaction, and he was sent off. Also need to discuss about the penalty that was given. I want to discuss Joao Cancelo. We need to talk about Lewandowski's influence on the pitch, and how he did in the pitch against PSG. Also discuss about the Dembele revenge, and many more that happened. So first we need to discuss the game ended 4-1 in favor of PSG, and aggregate it was 4-6 with the PSG advancing, and will now face Borussia Dortmund in the semi-finals of the Champions League. So straight into it, let's discuss the red card that was given to Barcelona, and that is none other than Ronald Araujo, who was shown a red card in the first half against PSG. So in my own point of view, when I first saw it happened, I said this is a red card and this is a penalty, because I saw it in that angle whereby you could easily see that Araujo made a challenge on Bacola in the box, in the penalty area at first glance. Then seeing the replay, I noticed that it was outside the box, and I was screaming when the pass was made and Bacola was running towards the goal, towards the Stagans, and I saw Ronald Araujo coming in close to him, and I was saying to myself, don't touch him, because the moment you touch him in this area, he will easily go down, and it can be either a penalty or a red card. So I was shouting at Araujo, as a fan, say, don't touch him. The only thing you could do at the moment is outpace him if you can. Araujo was supposed to outpace Bacola if he can, and made contact with the ball. That could have been an easy decision for the referee, and also for everyone involved, the VAR, and so the mistake that Araujo did in this kind of scenario was, touching the PSG's forward, that's Bacola, because any small touch, any little touch at this kind of sector, it's going to be penalized, and that what happened. Araujo came in and ran towards him, and I think he grabbed him by the shoulder and also a little bit pulling him down, and easily he went down and caused that controversy that happened. For me, in that scenario, when attacker is on goal and you bring him down, it's definitely a red card, because it is a goal scoring opportunity being denied, and mostly it's always a red card if it's the last man, that's the last man tackle or the challenge, and it is always a red card, and no argument with that. But seeing the replay more and more, I noticed that there was a Barcelona player at the far end when the challenge was made, but easily trying to analyze, you see that Bacola was on this side, was on the left side, or rather the left side of us, and the right side of Ter Stegen. And the other Barcelona player, I think, was maybe Kubasi or Cancelo, or maybe, I don't know who he was, but I think it was Kubasi. He was on the left side of the goalkeeper, and it was far from Bacola. And if Araujo was not in the picture, I think it could have been a goal for PSG scored by Bacola if he could have made it a good finish. But Araujo came in the picture and denied him that opportunity to score a goal. Easily, I think that's a red card for Araujo against PSG, because making that challenge was one very big mistake. So let's analyze this. For me, I think the red card was justified, and the VAR called for it to stand, because the challenge was outside the box. So I think it will have been injustice to give it a yellow card and also a free kick, because a free kick, I don't think, is a I don't think scoring a free kick and a penalty is something different. So I think it was given as a red card because it was outside the box. But I think if it was inside the box, if it was a penalty, I think Araujo could have been given a yellow card instead, because you can't give out a red card and a penalty in a succession, because it could have been a little bit harsh, considering the fact that it wasn't a clear chance, because there was also another Barcelona player at the left side. So the easiest call could have been a penalty and a yellow card for Araujo. But in this scenario, Araujo fouled him outside the box, and it was a free kick instead. And I think a red card was easily given for Araujo. So I think it's fair for Barcelona fans to feel upset and to feel there were injustice done to them, because for them, I think they are feeling it was supposed to be a yellow card maybe, and not a red card. But if it was given as a yellow card, I think the PSG fan could have been now saying it was injustice and they were robbed. So I think any decision that referee could have made in that kind of scenario, the fan the fan at the receiving end could have felt injustice. So I think the referee had or did what he had to do, and I think Barcelona fans, they'll be furious. They bottle a 1-0 win, and they lost 4-1, and also they are out of the Champions League this season, and they feel injustice, and which is I feel them, and they need to understand the rule of football, because for me, I think it was the right decision and the right call by the referee to give a red card in that scenario, or in that case. I don't know what you think about it. Was it a right decision by the referee to award a red card for Araujo and give it a chance for PSG to come into the game? But after the red card was shown to Ronald Araujo, we saw the change that was made by Xavi after that incident, and he took off Lamine Yamal and brought in Inigo Martinez. I want us to talk about this. I want to discuss, was it the right decision by Xavi to hook out Lamine Yamal and bring in Inigo Martinez? You've lost a defender. You need to defend. You need you need a four-back defensive lineup. So in this scenario, what could you do? Should you switch to a back three and play with the three defenders maybe, or do you bring in another defender? So Xavi chose to bring in another defender to make it still back four, but he decided to hook out Lamine Yamal and bring in Inigo Martinez. I think bringing in Inigo Martinez wasn't the bad decision, but the player he chose to bring out, that is Lamine Yamal, I think that was another mistake that they did. After Araujo mistake, that was also another mistake, because Lamine Yamal was impressive. It was great, doing well. Remember, he's assisted the first goal for Rafinha. It was a dribble past Nuno Mendes. Brilliant dribbling technique, and he brought life to Barcelona fans. But taking him off and leaving Lewandowski in the pitch, I don't think Lewandowski didn't do well. And I think for me, taking off Lamine Yamal and leaving Lewandowski, I think it's like removing the pillars of a building, so the building is hanging, because Lewandowski is a striker. He's a typical number 9 who expect crosses, and he expect crosses. It's like Haaland, so he expects services. So if you remove Lamine Yamal, that means that Rafinha had to play both wings at the same time, and that means he won't get it easy, and he will easily get tired and not fatigue and this and that. So Lewandowski was there waiting for crosses, but the crosses weren't coming. So that was also a bad decision by Xavi. I think for me, I expected Lewandowski to be hooked off, and leave Yamal in that wing, because Yamal was causing Nuno Mendes problems. But the moment he was hooked out, we saw Mendes was moving now forward. Sometimes was coming to midfield and helping the likes of Ruiz and Vitinha. So if I could see that Mendes was coming in midfield and Vitinha was moving forward a little bit, so the midfield was more of Mendes and Ruiz. So I think you could see Nuno Mendes was coming in midfield and helping the likes of Ruiz and Vitinha. So Vitinha could be seen moving a little bit forward to attack, and with Vitinha moving a bit higher, and Menj coming in to help the likes of Ruiz, that midfield, we could see that the likes of Frenkie de Jong and Gundogan and also Pedri were moving a little bit back, and I saw Pedri was shifting to that left hand side or the right hand side, with Rafinha coming in the left hand side. Now in the midfield was Frenkie de Jong and Gundogan. So Gundogan couldn't do it alone because Frenkie de Jong was moving a little bit down to support the defense. So the midfield was all Gundogan. So with Gundogan only as a midfielder, and the likes of Ruiz and Nuno Mendes coming in to support him, it was difficult for Gundogan to bring to service Lewandowski. That means Lewandowski was isolated in that number 9 position, and that means that Barcelona were not able to score. We saw that happening until in the second half, when PSG scored the third goal to make it 3-1. That's when now Barcelona were now playing a higher line. They were all moving forward to at least score a goal, and with them moving forward to score a goal altogether, we saw it cost them, and Barcelona conceded the fourth goal scored by Kylian Mbappe, and that was a game over. And poor decisions also again killed Barcelona's hopes of qualifying for the Champions League final. So I think sometimes I noticed that the decision that Xavi made in the first leg against PSG at the Parc des Princes bore fruit. Bringing in Pedri and assisting, bringing in Christensen and scoring a goal were top-notch substitution. But his substitution against PSG at home, I think they were horrendous, and they didn't bear fruit at all, and it was all mistakes. So talking about poor decisions in the game that cost Barcelona a chance in the semi-final, Lewandowski, who was left and in the pitch, I think he didn't do enough to justify the reason as to why he was left in the pitch, because I think in the second half he had a chance of making it 5-5 in aggregate, but somehow it was selfish. And I remember Ferran Torres successfully dispossessed PSG player, and the pass or the ball went straight to Lewandowski. So it was Lewandowski was up, Lewandowski with the ball, João Felix and Gundogan on his left, and Ferran Torres on his right, a bit far right. So he had the opportunity to pass the ball to either Gundogan or João Felix on his left, or pass the ball to Ferran Torres. But the easiest one could have been passing the ball to João Felix and Gundogan, who was on his left side. They were unmarked, and they were in a better position to score, and bringing the aggregate score to 4-4 to 5-5, which could have been easy for Barcelona. But he decided to take a shot, but his shot went straight, and it was a corner, and through this corner they conceded the fourth goal, because they went all to attack and maybe equalize, and from this corner they went to score the corner, all of them, and it was unsuccessful. And PSG, they had players who can run, the likes of Hakimi, Mbappe, and it was a counter-attack, and Barcelona conceded the fourth goal. So you could see that kind of a small mistake by Lewandowski cost them also, and they conceded the fourth goal, which could have been an easy one. Pass the ball to João Felix easily and make it 5-5 in aggregate. Maybe you can win it later. You never know. I think Barcelona fans, they should not be relying on blaming the referee for the red card of Araujo for the elimination, but they should look it into another picture. The decision to hook out Lamine Yamal, the selfishness of Robert Lewandowski, and also Joao Cancelo's involvement in the game. That was a reckless and unwanted challenge on Dembele to make for the penalty, because Dembele was leaning towards the corner side, and I think the best thing to do for Cancelo there, don't tackle Dembele, just guard him so that he cannot have the chance of passing through you or dribbling past you. But Joao Cancelo decided to tackle him, and it was a penalty, and converted by Kylian Mbappe, who scored his 40th goal in 42 games, and later on he scored his 41st goal in 42 games. I think has been tremendous. He's been having a great season for PSG, and possibly his last season with the French champions, as he is warming up for a move to Real Madrid next season. I think it's about around 60% done. So we are waiting for him to announce his next move. He said he will announce it by the end of the season. So I think Joao Cancelo also there, costing Barcelona a chance to the next round. So easily, leaving alone the red card, like there's 3 instances: Lamine Yamal being taken off, Lewandowski being left on the pitch, and given a chance to show what he can do, and also not being able to play with his teammate and being selfish, and also Joao Cancelo's reckless decision there to tackle Kylian Mbappe. So I think these are the instances whereby Barcelona lost it, and I think they had it by themselves, and they killed their hopes by themselves. Let's talk about the man behind Barcelona's reason for being knocked out of the Champions League, and that is their former player, the French forward, that is Ousmane Dembele. I had a great game. I think he was awarded as the MVP, the man of the match, and he scored a goal and also draw that penalty from Joao Cancelo, which Mbappe converted. I think he had a great game, and coming into this game, he scored the goal against Barcelona at the Parc des Princes to make it 1-1 as well. But him coming in to face his former team at home, I think he wasn't nervous. And the first 20 minutes, the players, that is the likes of Araujo, Cancelo, were all over him. They were trying to make him nervous, but he wasn't taking that. And he scored a goal, drawn that penalty, and was voted man of the match. He scored his second goal against PSG, 2-2 against Barcelona. That is a 2-2, and that was his third goal of the season. He's only scored 3 goals this season for PSG, and 2 of the 3 goals came against his former side, Barcelona. He had a good game, and PSG or the Barcelona fans all wanted him, to feel that they calling him the snake, because they feel a little bit betrayed by Dembele, or rather this his act for celebrating against Barcelona. I think the fans didn't took it well, and they ended up coming the scenario of making him feel nervous. But Dembele, I didn't take it to heart, and he played well. He scored a goal, drawn the penalty, won the MVP, and also knocked his former side out of the Champions League. I think fair play to him. He deserves it, and he's a great player. So Barcelona are out of the Champions League, and they are still yet to qualify for a semi-final of the Champions League without their talisman, the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi. Since Messi's departure, I think they've not been able to qualify for a Champions League semi-final, not to talk about lifting it. So this season they went further, but they weren't able to proceed the next round, as they were knocked out against versus PSG, with a 4-6 aggregate score. But I think Rafinha has been brilliant. He was brilliant in the first leg, scoring 2 goals. Also brilliant in the second leg, scoring a goal, and it was the only hope for Barcelona in this game. After Lamine Yamal was hooked off, and he had some chances, he was all alone, and he was frustrated at the end of the match. Also, let me talk about Paco Kubasi, the 17-year-old defender. Has been good, and I think Inigo Martinez didn't do enough to support him like Araujo always did, always do. So I think he was like playing alone in that back four, and I think it's been good. For PSG, they are into the semi-finals as they look to win the first ever Champions League trophy in the club history, and they will face Borussia Dortmund, who also knocked Atletico Madrid out in a 3-4-2 goal. That's a 6-goal thriller at the Signal Iduna Park. So PSG versus Borussia Dortmund in the semi-final, as they look to play in the final that will be played at Wembley. They will await their opponents today, as Arsenal are facing Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid are also facing Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Thanks for watching.